I've been wanting to try out one of those Soundhole bindings. That's where you take a small, thinned out piece of binding and place it on the inside of the Soundhole. I think it's a really nice finishing touch to a custom-built instrument. Now, I've seen quite a few examples, but very little in terms of instructions or even tutorials on that. The primary examples that I've seen involved thinning out a piece of regular binding and using some binding tape or even an expansion jig to put pressure outwards while the glue dries. Now, maybe that's all pretty simple and I'm just overthinking the level of complexity, but the main challenge that I see is in getting that joint exactly right so it's invisible. Well, in the process of thinking through this, I was considering what's happening under that sound hole. Now, for most guitars, we like to reinforce the sound hole to prevent any warping around that opening over time, and that's typically done with either small strips placed between the X-brace and the transverse brace, or I've even seen some builders use an entire support piece, like a flat, thinned out piece all around that area. So, I had an idea. What if we could combine the sound hole binding along with that sound hole reinforcement? What if we took that solid piece support idea and created a lip that would protrude up through the sound hole, resulting in what would look like a bounded edge? You wouldn't have to worry about seaming the binding together, and you could even put in some extra reinforcement from it being a solid piece. So maybe we could take that even a step further. You could layer in different veneers together and create designs that would be exceptionally difficult to pull off with a traditional binding approach. You could even run a rosette style design to create unique looks. I like this. Let's give it a try. I've got a piece of scrap birch ply here, it's 1/8 inch, that I'm going to use to replicate the soundboard. I'll go ahead and get this down to around 1/10 of an inch. And then I've also got a piece of koa that we're going to use as that simulated sound hole binding and then support plate underneath. I'll also take that down to 1/10 of an inch, and then I will double it, layer it together, so I'll have a 1/10 inch support plate up underneath and then 1/10 of an inch that will protrude up through the soundboard, which will make it flush with the top. Okay, let's take this and get it cut into something that looks like a soundboard. That gives us our soundboard cut out. It's not a full one, obviously, but just the sound hole is all that we're interested in. Let's go ahead and get this on the thickness sander and get it down to size. Now the same thing with this piece, we got to get it thickness sanded down to the size, and then we're going to double layer it, so we'll laminate 2 pieces together. That'll do it. Okay, this piece is about 6 inches wide, 6 3/8. I'm gonna just make it square when I cut this off, and then we'll layer that. Okay, let me go cut this a second. Both of those are cut. What if before I glue this together, what if we stuck a colored piece of veneer in there just for something decorative, just to see what it would look like? Let me do that. I've got a variety pack here. I think maybe I'll use this yellow just because it's not one I'm probably going to actually use, but it'll be good enough for a test for us to be able to see it. Clamp that all together. You know what? When I do this for real, this is just a test piece, but I would say you would want to alternate the grain. So when you're doing a layer like this, rotate the grain in the other direction, makes it like plywood at that point. It'll make for a stiffer overall piece. All right, next, we're gonna have to move over into CAD and do the design for cutting out the ring and then the support underneath. So let's do that. What I've got is I've pulled up the soundboard along with its bracing. So this is the design that I use. And you can see here that bracing pattern that I was talking about. These are just little pieces that we'll put into the bracing pattern to keep the hole from collapsing. So I'm gonna use that and kind of make that as the perimeter on here. And so what you'll see, we can just kind of draw around that to create the outer frame. So we'll go from the bottom of the transverse brace on the outside of those braces down to the cross point of the X brace to the outside perimeter of the other brace and then completing at the top. So that is the shape that I'm after. Now, since I want that to fit between the bracing, if I cut it like this, there's going to be no tolerance. So I probably want to come in just a little bit. That's going to vary by your machine, but I'm going to go ahead and offset that by 0.04 of an inch to the inside there. And you'll see that that is not much, but you get just a little bit there on the inside. Should create just enough tolerance for it to slide right between those braces. Okay, so that is the outside piece. Now for the circle cutout of the actual sound hole itself, we're going to do something similar, but we also have to remember that that has to fit up and in between or on the inside of the existing sound hole. So I'm going to do something similar with that, but I'm going to create another offset, and for that I want it to be nice and tight. So I'm probably going to go 0.02 of an inch on that. I'm going to set it just inside of the sound hole. That inset now, so that should slide nice and tight right into the sound hole. And now for the binding, we're going to have to come in farther than that. And so I would say let's just replicate the existing, like the outside binding. That's typically 0.08. There we go. And that will be the binding, kind of like a faux binding, if you will. We're going to export those out, and then we'll be able to go ahead and get that cut on the machine. Looks like it worked. Get it cleaned up here a second. Actually, before I cut it out of there, let me do just a little bit of light sanding on the top of that. There's not a lot to this edge, so I'm trying to be careful with it. Okay, cleaned up, sanded just a little bit more, but overall that looks pretty good. I mean, that's the shape that we were after. Nice little lip. I was afraid of potentially chip out when the router went around this outer perimeter. I did take it at a slower speed for that, but and tried to take a shallow depth of pass. But in general, that looks pretty good. So let's see if it'll fit inside of the sound hole. You can see on my board here, on the simulated soundboard, I have put the X brace on here with my template and then the transverse brace across the top. First off, does it fit? That's between the braces. Okay, it slides right down into the hole and looks like it lines up with the braces just fine. Okay, let's flip it over. I do see a little bit of a problem though. I've got a little bit of gap. The circle is not perfect. Now that may be the product of my machine not machining a clean circle, but I see like a little bit of gap over there. So I could probably run a tighter fit on the circle and then hand sand it to fit into there so it would be a little bit tighter. But I'd say that's pretty close. I don't know, I kind of like how it turned out. I think I could play with different layer patterns, maybe even come up with some kind of an inlay pattern that would go in there. I think it's worth giving a shot on my next build. Hey, if you end up trying this, I'd love to hear your feedback. Let me know, see if you come up with something cool to do with this. Until next time, I'll catch y'all later.